In this video, we are going to work on an example course site that was generated with HAXcms. So this site currently is being hosted at git.psu.edu, which is a GitLab instance. And what we're going to do is we're going to clone that to our local machine, make a few changes to the course, and then commit our changes back to this repository. And through the magic of continuous integration, it will automatically publish to our live site. To clone this repository, we're going to click clone and then copy the Git repo URL. In my terminal, I'm going to run git clone and then paste in the URL of that repository. Now that we have a local copy on our computer, let's look at the README file to see how we can actually run HAXcms. To make working with HAXcms easy, we packaged it up in a Docker image. Let's use the quick start command to spin up HAXcms into a Docker container. I'm going to copy that Docker command, switch back to my terminal, and from my repository, I'm going to execute that command. What that will do is spin up a new Docker container with HAXcms, and you should see the Docker container ID. Now switch over to your web browser and go to localhost. So the first screen that you're greeted with is the default installation page of HAXcms. So you can actually deploy HAXcms on a dedicated server. But in this case, we are just going to use this temporarily. So go ahead and copy the password and click here to access your HAXcms site manager link. Now, it should take you to the login screen, but if it doesn't, go ahead and click log out, and we're going to re-enter our credentials using the username and password that we copied from the previous screen. Now that we're logged in, you can click on your site, and you should be greeted by your site with the Hax editor loaded. So let's make some changes. As we can see here, we have a little typo. What we can do is hit the edit button. That will put us into edit mode, where we can start editing the content for this specific page. So I'm going to put the cursor here, delete that, and click save. Now after about a second, it should refresh with the new updated version of the site. Awesome, so that's how easy it is to make changes. Let's say that we wanted to add an image. So I found this nice image of the universe on Google. I'm going to save this to my downloads folder, and I'm going to copy the image address so that we can credit the source. So let's say that we wanted to add the image to the top of this page. Let's click edit. In the upper left-hand corner, you should see some operations. Let's click make. And I'm going to search for image. And you can see all the different types of images that we could add to this site. I'm going to click styled image, and here we're presented with a form to fill out to add an image to our site. So the first thing that we're going to do is upload files. This does support drag and drop, so I'm going to drag that image right into this drop zone here, and that will upload the image to your local file system. We're going to provide some alt text here. I'm also going to add the citation. And I'm going to add some styling. So for offset, I'm going to select wide. We're going to click update to see our image placed within our content. We actually want this at the top, so I'm going to click the up arrow a few times to move that content to the very top. Maybe down one more. Perfect. I like where that's positioned, so I'm going to click Save. And there we go. We've just added an image to our course. Now that we've made some changes to the course here through HAXcms, let's take a look at the actual files to see what's changed. I'm going to open up my VS Code editor, and you can see quite a few changes have occurred. So we have some new files. We have the original photo that we added, as well as some scaled down versions of the file. We can see the changes that we've made on the page itself. So we corrected the typo and we've added the new media image. The site.json, which is the navigation of the site, has also been updated. We've updated the static search generator, as well as our RSS feed items. In the left-hand side of VS Code, we can take a look at the Git information. We can see that we have quite a few changes here. I'm going to add all of these changes to what's called the stage. The stage is basically just files that will be committed. And I'm going to make a commit. If we take a look at the Git graph in VS Code, you can see that we are now ahead of the origin master. Remember, the origin master is the production version of the course. I want to deploy these changes that I've made locally to the production version of the course. So I am going to select push to push my changes. If we head back to the GitLab page, we can see that we have some pipelines running. So this is the continuous delivery portion, and what it's doing is it's packaging up those changes and deploying them to production. We can see that it successfully deployed it to our Docker swarm. And if we visit our live course, we can see that our changes have been deployed.